Yo, yo, yo. What's the dealio, man? What's the dealio? Hey, it's Sunday and you already know what time it is, y'all. If you just tuning in, say what's up, say what's up. Let me know where you tuning in from, y'all. All right? Let me know where y'all tuning in from. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's up, Dennis? New Jersey. What up? What up? What up, Henry? How you doing? How you doing? How y'all doing today, man? Hey, be sure, do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel, okay? Let's make sure we get this video right here, this live right here. Let's get this live to 100 likes, all right? Let's keep building on this 2,000 subscribers. We got a lot of dope stuff that's on the way for the channel, right, that I'm gonna be doing. So be sure to just tap in, man, right? We coming out with videos every single day to help y'all change your life. All right. So yeah, what up, Gerald? How you feeling? How you feeling? What up, Miss Virgo? How you doing? How you doing? What up, Charlie? What up, y'all? Hey, listen, I'm calling this now the Sunday setup. Okay, that's what I'm gonna start calling these lives, the Sunday setup. Okay, so we've been going live. We've been going live every Sunday for what, 6-8 months now. Every Sunday we've been going live, so I want to do the Sunday setup. Okay, so that's what we're gonna start calling these Sunday lives. All right, so y'all can refer to this as a Sunday setup from here on out. All right, Swell Hunter, what up, Swell Hunter? How you feeling? You ready to smack the market this week? What up, P Bryant? What up? What up? What up, Wedlow? How y'all doing? All right, so check this out, man. I don't want to waste y'all time, right? We all know what we're here for. We here to talk about the market, and we here to break this down and see what's gonna happen. All right. So if y'all tuning in, man, say what's up, and also like this video. Okay. Do me a favor and like this video. Let's flood this video with a whole bunch of likes. Let's get this video to 100 likes. All right. What up, Plan BT? Sean, what up? What up? QTZ, what's up? What's up? All right, y'all. So let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. So last week was very interesting. All right. Last week was very interesting. So last week we had the Bears got trapped. That's what I'll say. The Bears got trapped. Okay. It looked like, so historically, the first week of August is bearish, right? Historically, the first week of August is bearish. And so I know that's what was expected. And then things came down a little bit, gap down, and then they filled the gap and they went to the upside, right? So the Bears got trapped there. Now, this week, we cannot be naive because we already know what Tuesday is. What is Tuesday, y'all? If you know what Tuesday is, let me know in the comments. If you know what Tuesday is, let me know in the comments. Okay? What up, Jamal? How you feeling? Plan B, how you feel about Shopify filling the gap? Hey, I was gonna put Shopify on my watch list this week to the downside, but I don't know. And let me tell you why. Because Shopify has been consolidating. So it could be getting ready to go up a little higher, or we could see a drop. I like puts with Shopify maybe a month out just in case, but I know that Shopify is going to fill the gap to the downside, but we don't know when, okay? Because look at Meta. Meta blasted off. It has not filled the gap just yet. So Shopify will fill that gap, but we don't know when. So if we see bearish sentiment in the market this week, right, if we see it failing to go higher, then definitely I like Shopify to the downside, but I don't know yet. I was gonna put them on a watch list, but I got to be a little bit careful. All right. Exactly. CPI, y'all. All right. So CPI is this Friday. I mean this Tuesday. All right. So CPI could crash the market. So I want y'all to be clear. Everything that I'm gonna talk about today to the upside, it could potentially invalidate on Tuesday morning if we gap down. If the data come out and it's not good, then stocks could drop. And that could be the start of a little pullback, right, for people to enter into certain trades. All right, so we do have CPI this Tuesday, so I want you guys to keep that in mind and be, I don't want to say wary of it, but I want you guys to just keep that in mind. Okay. So yeah. Damien, you said, what up? Can you talk about finding your levels on different time frames, how you know when everything matches up? I'm gonna see if I can get to that today. All right. Hey Damien, schedule a one-on-one. All right. Schedule a one-on-one. I'm gonna try to get to that part right there, but I like to reserve Sundays for watch list and market, you know, figuring out where the market is at and where it's going to be going. But I will try to get to that. But I got to say, man, schedule a one-on-one so we can answer all of your unique questions. All right. So, yeah, not a lot of volume on puts. Yeah. So we don't fully know. All right. So what we're going to do is let's start with what happened last week, actually. All right. Let's do a recap of last week, and then we're going to get into what's going on this week, okay? So, I'm pulling this screen up right now. Pulling up the watch list. We actually we did well last week. All right, so check this out, y'all. All right. So, here we go. Okay? So, let's do a recap. The reason why I like doing these recaps is because I want you guys to know, right? I want you guys to know I ain't out here capping and just giving random stocks, right? This is great analysis, and I'm giving you guys levels, okay? I'm giving you guys levels, so I want you to understand the power of these levels that I'm giving you. You can literally play these levels, and you could go make 1,000 this week, 2,500 this week, 5K this week, all right? So don't take this stuff lightly, all right? So I like to make sure that I'm doing, I like to make sure that I'm recapping so you guys could see the things that I called last week, see how they play out. All right. So yeah, so let's get into the recap for last week. Okay. And then we're going to go from there. Be sure to like this video, y'all. All right. Let's flood this video with these likes. All right. George said your video you dropped last night is life-changing. Gym's way more valuable than monetary. Hey, I appreciate that, George. Hey, salute to everybody that's tapping in with the videos, right? I make videos to change your life, right? Seriously. So I appreciate everybody. All right. Plan B said I swung hymns from last week. Okay. Caught the bottom. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let's go, right? So here we go. All right, so look at this right here. So last week I called gold, okay? I said calls above 309.50 for gold. All right. Now let's go look at gold and see where it ended up. All right. If we go look at GLD, let's look at GLD. Look at that. I said calls above 309, right? This level right here, 309, right? It gapped up on Monday. It came down a little bit, and then it blasted off, and it went to 313. All right. So that was the first one. All right. We actually swung gold. I made some money in it. It wasn't a crazy move, but I made some money, and it didn't blow up. Right. Now I do think gold could go up a little bit more, but it was playing a little bit of games, right? I was slightly anticipating the market coming down, and so gold to go up, you know, but it kind of was playing around a little bit. But I said above 309, and then we got there, all right? So, and we got to 313, right? So we swung that, we made some bread. So that's gold, all right? What's the next one that I said? I said Oracle. This was the next one I was looking at, right? I said Oracle to the downside, right? Now let's look at Oracle. Let's see what they did. Oracle. Here we go. All right, I said Oracle to the downside, and Oracle did not go where I was looking for it to go. All right, I was looking for Oracle to go to, what did I say? They've been running up. If we break below 241.77, then we come into 235 and then 233, right? We never got that break below 241. If 241.77, we never got a break below 241, right? This was on Friday right here, and then on Monday they shot up. Then on Tuesday they shot up. Then they had a little bit of a consolidation day, and then they came down on Friday, right? So, and then they consolidated, no, on Thursday, and then they consolidated right here on Friday. So, Oracle did not come down, but listen, this is why I give you guys the levels, right? Because listen, I don't want you to be like, oh, okay, he said the stock is going down, so I'm going to get in puts on Monday. No, I say here is the level, right? Here is the level. What do I say? If it breaks below the level, that is when you take entry, okay? Listen to what I'm saying. I want to make sure that you guys understand. I want you to understand that I'm like virtual mentor, virtual coach, right? You got to run the play. But I'm telling you, if it breaks below the level, okay? If it breaks below the level, all right? So that's what Oracle did. It did not come down below that level. It actually went up and then it started to come down, but it's still not where it needs to be. So we could see Oracle is just up there right now. So Oracle didn't do what I was looking for. Okay? Now, the other stock that I called last week was AMAT, okay? I said we got a gap to fill at 187, right? I said calls above 181.72. All right, now let's go look at AMAT and see what they did. Let's go look at AMAT. Where they at? AMAT. Look what they did. All right. I said this was the gap they had to fill. I said calls above 181. Right? This was on Thursday, Friday. This was on Monday. They was right here. And then on Tuesday, they came down all the way to 175. Bounced. Came up here. Boom. Went up to 186. All right. 186.74 is where AMAT got to. All right. And what did I say? 187.53. All right. I said 187.53 and AMAT got up to 186.74. All right. So listen, that's 2 for 3, right? Now you can never lose if you play your levels properly. If you play Oracle to the upside, you would have made bread still, right? So there was no losing last week based off this watch list. What up, Best Beezy? There was no losing based off of this watch list, right? I literally just went through it. I told you what I called and what I put on my watch list last week, and then I showed you the results of what we saw on the watch list this week, right? This is real life. I'm doing this in real time. I'm documenting it so that you guys could understand, right, how to play the levels, and also know that I'm not giving you just no willy-nilly information. I'm giving you real stocks that have really been analyzed, and I'm very confident in the things that I'm saying I'm watching for the week. All right? So if that makes sense, let me know in the comments. Put some dollar signs in the comments, all right, in the chat. And be sure to like this video as well. We're about to get into it. But I like to do the recap for the past week, right? Because I want y'all to see that this is not cap. This is real life stuff, all right? So, with that being said, let's look at the SPY and let's look at IWM, right? If you know, I like IWM as that's my index of choice. If I had to trade an index, I would trade IWM over the SPY, and I would trade IWM over QQQ, right? So it would go IWM, QQQ, and then the SPY, okay? So So now let's go to the SPY because the SPY is the actual stock market, right? That's all the biggest companies. Okay. So let's go to my other joint right here. All right, cool. And then we're going to go to the SPY and then we're going to go to IWM. Okay. Now let's check this out. All right, y'all. So, all right. So we got the SPY. Okay. Look what the SPY did. This is on Thursday, Friday. So on Friday, right here, right? All right. So on Friday, they came down all the way to 619 and they bounced and they came up, right? So here's what they do. This is what Wall Street does. So we got right here, right? So we got right here. We're going to call this a bear trap. Okay? Because it looks like it's about to keep going down. And then on Monday, they blast off. Okay? And then as you can see, we had 5 days straight of going up. Well, this was a red day, and then this was a red day. So on Tuesday and Thursday, we had red days. And then we ended up higher, right? Went up at 637. So that's last week, right? So if we can't get above here, we might come and retest this 639.50 level or 640. We might come and retest that, but we got to see what's going on. So immediately, okay, if we get above 637.49, then we could ride this up to 639.50, okay? So these are going to be two rejection areas right there, 637.49 and then 639.50. Those are your two levels right there for the SPY. If we break above 639.81, then that's new all-time highs, and we're gonna go higher. All right, we may go up to like 641, 642, and then we could reject, right? Or we could blast off. But like I said, we do have CPI on Tuesday, okay? So we may be bullish the first half of Monday, and then we could have a sell-off on Tuesday before the market closed. And then Tuesday, we could gap down. We could gap up. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So I'm not going to take any swings until after Monday, because then we're going to see what the direction is, and then we could go from there. All right, so I'm not going to take any swings on Monday. All right? And so then let's go to IWM next. All right? We're going to go to IWM next, but G said, I've been playing SPY, IWM been consolidating. I'm on the daily time frame. Right? Daily time frame. Yeah, Best B made $1,300 on IWM last week. That's with one stock. He made 2 racks off of Shopify last week too, right? So, and that's only the trades I saw, right? I'm telling y'all got to tap in with the Discord because it's real money being made in that Discord, all right? So tap in with the Prosperity Collective. All right, be sure to come trade with us. Be sure to like this video. All right, so Gerald said IWM been consolidating. So let me break this down for you. All right, so IWM has not been consolidating. It's been trading in a range, right? It's been trading in a range. So this was Friday. So on Monday, that is not consolidation. That is a directional candle. So you could have made money on Monday with IWM. You could have made money on Tuesday with IWM. You could have made money on Wednesday and Friday. Those were small ranges. But on Thursday, IWM had a big move as well. It gapped up and then it came down, right? So IWM has not been consolidating the whole week. They had 2 days last week where they did consolidate. So I'm expecting a big move on IWM tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be to the upside or to the downside. So what I would say with IWM, under 219.72, I would get into puts on IWM under 219.72, right? For IWM, and above 221, 221.59 for calls on IWM. All right, so 219.72 for puts, and then 221.59 for calls. 219.72 for puts, and then 221, right, 56 for calls. That is my levels for IWM tomorrow. Whichever direction we break above or below, that's gonna be the direction that I play IWM tomorrow. Okay, that's gonna be the direction that I play IWM tomorrow. All right. So we got the SPY and we got IWM. I'm expecting a big move tomorrow on IWM. Now we just need to see what direction it chooses to go, up or down. We don't know yet. Also, the market could chop around all day. The last hour of the day have a big move to the upside or to the downside. We don't know what's going to happen. So it's important to understand the possibilities and be open. I don't have a bullish bias and I don't have a bearish bias. What I have is a mind that I'm looking at the levels and I'm playing those levels and I'm looking at the probabilities. Right? I'm just looking at the probabilities. All right? So that's what we got on IWM, and that was what we had on SPY. All right? If y'all just tapping in, man, shout out to you. Be sure to drop in the chat where you tuning in from. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. All right? Be sure to subscribe to the channel for me. All right? Click the subscribe button and also like this video. All right? Let's get this video to 100 likes. All right? So that's what we got on the SPY and the IWM. Those are the two indexes that I like. All right? Well, IWM, QQQ, and then SPY. But I love IWM. So now let's go get into the setups that I'm looking at. Okay? Let's get into the settings the setups that I'm looking at. All right? So let me pull up these for this week. All right? I'm pulling up these for this week. All right. So you haven't seen me talk about these stocks really. But I saw about I would say about 8 to 9 setups this week when I was looking at the charts yesterday and last night. I saw a lot of setups. Okay, there's a couple other setups that I'm not putting on here because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But listen, be sure to join the Discord to understand how to execute on these trades. All right. And it's also not just about trades, right? Just join the community, man, right? If you want to be a part of a community, y'all, real talk, and be tapped in with people and be able to network and stuff like that. And we're going to continue to grow and we're going to do a lot of other things. So be sure to tap in with the community. Come join the Prosperity Collective. It's not just about trading. It's about evolution, right? It's about becoming a better version of yourself. All right. So let's check this out. So we got the first stock I'm looking at is going to be Oscar. Okay. Oscar Health. All right. So before I break down the charts, I want you to understand healthcare, right? The healthcare sector. So with the healthcare sector, there's so much upside potential, right? MRK, Oscar, UNH. A lot of these healthcare companies are very profitable, but something has happened in the healthcare sector. They were not expecting inflation to be what it was this year, and the healthcare sector was not ready for that. Okay, and because they weren't ready for that, they're experiencing what they're experiencing this year. But we have certain healthcare stocks that are going to blast off, right? I'm thinking end of this year, next year, healthcare is going to have a crazy run. I know that, and I feel very confident in that based on what I've been seeing and researching. Okay, so I wanted to preface this with that. All right, so we got Oscar Health. All right, so I said they got a gap to fill. All right, they just dropped from $22, right, to $12.83. Okay, bounced up to the upside, calls above 1555. All right, so let's go look at Oscar. Right, let's go look at OSCR. Okay, let's go to my research. All right, so let's say, so Oscar, right? So Oscar, look at this right here. This is a beautiful, this stock looks like it's ready to blast off. So as you can see, we have a gap right here, okay? So we got a gap starting at 18, no, it's starting at 18.18, and it's going all the way up to 2025. That is a $2 gap, okay? Now, just so you guys understand, if you have a $2 gap and the stock is trading at $18, that's like having a $10 gap if the stock is trading at $50, right? Or $45. So I want you to understand that that is a $2 gap. On a stock like Meta, a $2 gap ain't nothing. But on a stock like this right here, the gap, a $2 gap is massive. You can make 250% if you are in this trade right here and it fills the whole gap, right? If you get in at the beginning of that gap and you get out at the end. So understand that this gap right here is massive, but look, we got $3 until we get to the gap, okay? We got $3 until we get to the gap. So this is on a daily time frame. Look at the weekly time frame, okay? I want you guys to understand this. This right here is a support level, okay? I'm going to say support level. All right? Support level. So what's the support level? It was at 1286, 1283, right? So look, so OSCR bounced off of this support level how many weeks in a row? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. On the 4th week, it bounced off and then it blasted off, okay? So this was a support level that held very strong and it finally bounced off and it went to the upside, right? So now we have this level right here at 1555, okay? And we got a 3 bar on the weekly. If we get above 1555, then we go into the upside, okay? We go into the upside, all right? We should be able to blast past this 1593 easily, and then we should be going to 1745, okay? We should be able to go to 1745, all right, straight up. So calls above 1555 with Oscar, all right? That's my first stock that I'm looking at. That's my first trade. You get in that one right there, you good money. All right? But you have to know how to take these trades. Okay? Now let's look at this right here. Let's look at the options chain. Okay? Look at this. Look at these contracts. We talking $50. We talking $70, right? Out of the money, if they break 1555, I might get a 16 strike price contract for $30. And I might load up on there, right? And then go make 200% on that, right? So that is so that's the first one right there is Oscar, okay? So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense right there. That right there is a banger. That right there is a banger. All right, but like I say, 1555. If it don't break above 1555, I'm not getting in the calls. I'm not getting in the calls. So understand support and resistance. Okay? I might do Apple. I blasted off last week. I'm mad I missed out on them on Thursday and Friday. GMC said, get him ready for September. It's coming. Yeah, the half off sale is definitely coming. Okay? It's definitely coming. Best B said Oscar is underperforming. It is. And that's why I'm bullish on that stock right now, right? they already came down and bounced it and then went to the upside. So I see OSCR gonna be going crazy. And if OSCR goes up, MRK is going up too, because MRK is a really good stock and I like trading them. Okay. So George said, what strike price in Delta is a 250%? So so here's the thing. I said 250% because I know my expected move, right? So I was throwing out a number that I know I could get on that. Actually, if you get a 16 strike price and the stock goes from $15.55 to $18, you would actually probably make like 1,000% on your money. Okay, so yeah. But what I'll say is be sure to join the Discord because I might get 17 strike price, right? We just got to see. We just got to see what happens. And that's why these lives are great and they're helpful. But what I want you to understand is to get the execution part, you either got to join the Discord or you got to book a one-on-one, right? So that way we could really focus on the implementation and execution of what you got going on. All right. So yeah, what up, Adam? How you feeling? So when it goes, yeah, it's definitely it's going to blast off. If y'all just now tuning in, man, say what's up in the comments. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. All right, we got what? 67 people on here, and we got 32 likes. All right, be sure to like this video for me. That's all I'm asking. I'm giving y'all real levels. And I'm breaking this stuff down in simplistic terms so that you guys can make money, whether you in the Discord or you not. All right, so understand. All I ask is to like this video, okay? Tundra Bird 132 setup on a weekly is fire. Yeah, yep. That strat method, y'all. That strat method is something powerful. What up, Kello Trades? So, all right. So the next stock that I'm looking at this week, okay? The next stock that I'm looking at. Let me go up here real quick. Now this right here, yo, all three of these setups I think are phenomenal, if I'm being honest. All right. I had another stock I was going to put on here, but I was like, these three to me look the best. All right. I might trade the other stock as well, but listen, these setups are fire and they are primo. Okay. So please understand that we ain't just saying nothing. We gonna make real money this week off of these stocks, okay? So yeah, so the next stock for this week, my setup, all right, is going to be, drum roll. Check this out. It's gonna be FedEx, okay? FedEx is what I'm looking at right now, this week. Okay, now let's look at it. Let's look at FedEx. Okay, boom. So first things first, this is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. On the daily time frame, right? On the daily time frame, FedEx was right here, 244.46. A little bit higher, 245.88, right? So between these two right here. Okay. All right, so FedEx was down here, right, at 216. Then it blasted off, right? So look, came down from down here, blasted off right here, okay? And then what did it do? It came back down a little lower to 223, right? And then what did it do? Boom. No, hold on. Delete that. And then what did it do? Bounced up to here, right? Back up to this same thing. Now this is a lower low. Okay, this is a lower low right here than right here. This high was 245.78. This high is 244.36. So that is a lower low. Okay, but this was a lower high right here. Okay, but then it came all the way down, came lower, down to here, right? Which is 214. Now, if you look at this, see, if you look at this and you understand what's going on, this right here, okay, this right here is a demand zone, right? This area right here is a demand zone. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type this in here, demand zone. Okay. So this is a demand zone. You see it came here, blasted off, right? Came here, and it looks like it came out of it, right? Just came back down here, tested it, and came up on the daily and the weekly, right? And then we got this big candle right here. So I'm looking for FedEx to have a retracement of this candle right here. And so if we break above 229.98, I'm getting into calls on FedEx. Okay? FedEx calls above 229.98. If you want to be conservative, if you want to be safe, I would say 230.02. Okay? So calls above 230.02. All right? So this FedEx setup, it looks very, very, very nice to me, right? I like it. Demand zone bounce, just got out of the demand zone, came back down a little bit, pushed back up, and let's look at the 30-minute. So look, FedEx came down, right, in the beginning of the day, and then the whole day it trended up, which means that that's a lot of buying pressure. Okay, that's a lot of buying pressure right there. So boom, it went up to the upside. So I like FedEx to the upside, right? So it finished off the day real strong right here, right? So I like FedEx to the upside if we can get above 229.98. I mean 229.98. All right. I like FedEx. Yeah, calls, CG3. Yeah, I'm looking for calls. Okay? And then we could ride it up into the supply zone, right? Where the sellers are sitting at. And then we could sell before it gets to the sellers. And if it does break through, then you could ride it up higher or whatever, right? But that's what I'm looking at is FedEx. Okay? So we got Oscar and we got FedEx. Okay? Now, like I say, I'm not getting into any swing trades until Tuesday. Okay? Until Tuesday. I need to see what happens on CPI, which is Tuesday. Once we get CPI data, that's when it's going to let me know, okay, this is where I can interact. Because if I get into a call on Monday and then we gap down by 4% on Tuesday, I just gave away my money, right? I just gave away my money. So I do not want to take an entry on any swing trades on Monday. I'm not going to get in any puts. I'm not going to get in any calls. I'm just going to focus on day trading on Monday. Then once we get the data comes in before market open on Tuesday, that's when I'm going to start saying, okay, let me see what the market does. Let me see how it reacts. And then I may enter into a swing trade. Okay? Would I say 240 is a supply zone? Where's supply? Let's look. All right, let's look. So for FedEx on a daily time frame, I would say supply zone is right here. So this is a supply zone right here. Okay? This is supply zone right here. All right. So between 239 and 245, right? So if we get in at above 229.98, you could ride it up to right here at 238. That's a $10 move right there. Okay? That's a $10 move right there. And FedEx is a mover, so you can make some solid money with FedEx. All right? FedEx makes big moves. Okay? So above 230, we could ride it to 238, or if you want to, or you could sell most of your position here and leave runners. And if it does go into there, then you'll be able to make some more money off your runners. Okay? So that's the demand zone, and this is the supply zone right here. All right. So yeah, we can write that up and down. Exactly. Exactly. It's just a rinse and repeat. These stocks do the same things, y'all. I want you to understand that. Stocks do the same things every single day, week, and month. They just go up and they go down. Once you start to understand these ranges, you start to really be able to see what's going on. Okay? So, and you could do that like inside of the day intraday. You could do that off the daily time frame. It don't matter what the time frame is. Once you learn what a range is and where it's going to and from, you can ride that stock up and down. Okay? So, the last setup that I'm going to share with you guys, all right, we about to go into it. What I will say is, if that makes sense on FedEx, let me know in the comments, all right? Drop some dollar bills. Drop the dollar sign with the wings, all right? If that makes sense, drop the dollar sign with the wings, y'all. I hope y'all are excited about this week. I really hope that you guys are excited about this week, man, all right? What's up, Mikey? He said I want to tap in and say hello a little late to the party. Gonna start from the beginning, but have a great Sunday. Hey, what's up, Mikey? Yeah, tap in from the beginning. I got one more stock to share and a breakdown and stuff like that. But yeah, also y'all, I appreciate everybody who has subscribed. We hit 2,000 subscribers the other day, one day after my birthday, and I've only been on YouTube on this channel for 1 year. So in 1 year, we was able to hit 2,000 subscribers. The channel has over 100,000 views, man. So I appreciate everybody tapping in and really taking this stuff serious. All right, seriously, I appreciate y'all, and that's why I want to show up every single day, right? Because I want to change y'all life, man, if I can. All right, so I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody. All right, we about to do a small account challenge real soon. I'm about to launch that every Saturday. I'm going to post a video, and I'm going to take a small account. It's going to be a 52-week small account challenge. And every Saturday is going to be a video update with the progress on that account. All right. So that's something that we got going on. All right. So stay tuned to that. I'm excited for that one. And we got something else. I'm going to do something. And this is something I want to do to just help y'all out. Okay. Just to help y'all out. So I appreciate it, Shali. Congrats on the 2K. Yeah. Yeah. Don't forget your stop loss. Very important. Yep. So yeah, so we got Oscar and we got FedEx. All right, Oscar and FedEx. Now the last setup, all right, the last setup that I'm gonna share with you guys. Okay, the last setup that I'm gonna share with you guys and break it down. Who do we got? Let me pull this up real quick. Let's see. Ooh, I'm excited about this one, y'all. I'm excited about this one. So check this out. This is the last setup, okay? We got Celsius. Celsius, all right? The ticker symbol is going to be CELH, all right? So let's look at it. They had earnings last week, okay? They did well on earnings. So let's go look at Celsius. All right, so check this out, y'all. So this on a daily time frame. Okay, so they was right here. Okay, so they went from 43 to 50. Okay, so we do have a gap down here. Okay, now, so this is a gap, right? But look at this right here on the 30-minute. If you look on the 30-minute, we have what? What do we have right here, y'all? What is this? Put it in the comments. If you know what this is right here, let me know. All right? If you know what this is, let me know. Okay? Draw it out real quick. Boom. Right here. Okay? We got boom. Okay. Right here. And we got boom right here. Okay. What is that, y'all? What's that? What is it? Ding, ding, ding. There we go. There we go. It's the bull flag, y'all. All right. This is a bull flag. So yes, we gapped up, right? And there is a gap to the downside, but on the 30-minute, we have a bull flag. All right. So all of this right here, this is a range from $49 to $53.91. Okay. So a $4 range right here. All right. So this is the consolidation range. Okay. This is the consolidation range right here. So it's going from here to here and just ping-ponging back and forth, right? But with Celsius, because they had good earnings, there's good stuff going on with them right now. If we get above right here, 53.87, then we entering into calls, okay? Calls above 53.87 on Celsius, right? Because when you look at the daily time frame, look at where we got. We don't have any resistance until $57. Yep. No resistance until $57. And that's a break above 53. All right. So we could catch a nice move on Celsius right here. Okay. So this is my last setup that I see a bull flag on Celsius, CELH. All right. You see the 30-minute time frame. You see the bull flag right there. Okay. We go to the hourly. You can see the bull flag on the hourly as well. Okay. You go to the 2 hour. You can see the bull flag on the 2 hour as well. Okay. We go to the 4 hour. You can see the bull flag on the 4 hour also. Okay. So no matter what time frame you're on, you see this bull flag clearly right here. Right. So this is why I'm looking at Celsius for calls above 53. You could really say $54 flat. All right. If you want to be like super cautious and careful, above $54 Celsius calls, and then there's no resistance until 57.51. All right. That trade right there, that's a 3x, 2 to 3x on your money. Okay. Like real talk. So Celsius is my last setup that I see. It's a bull flag on the 30-minute, the hourly, the 2 hour, and the 4 hour. Okay, if we break above that $54 level, then we go into $57. Okay. Adam said basically watch to break, then play in that direction. Yep, absolutely. Right now, you may get a break and a retest. Right, so it may break above 54. Let's say it goes to 55, and then it could come back down to 54 to test, and then it go up, right? So if you do get in, and then it goes up to 55, 55.20, and then it starts to come down, don't get scared. But if you go from 54 to 55.20, take profits. And then what you can do is if it does come back down to test, you can re-enter with your profits, and now you're playing with house money. Okay? That's how you play the game right here. All right? If you just tuning in, man, say what's up. We got 75 people on here, man. All right, all we doing is growing. All right? I don't know if y'all was with me, but the first live I did was back in like October, November. I had 2 people on the live, yo. 2 people. Go back to my lives. Go back to the videos, right? Now we got 75 people on here. So shout out to y'all, man. Let me know who's tapping in. Let me know who's tuning in. Say what's up in the comments and like this video. All right. CMC said this was really good. I really get to watch you giving out free game. Hope they understand. Nobody doing this for free, but for the fee. Hey, nah, for real, man. Hey, look, I'm not the one saying it. CMC just said it. People don't do this for free, y'all. All right? People not doing this for free because they know that people want to change their life and they want to make their money. So they're going to give you a little bit and make you come pay for everything, right? But I just operate out of abundance, right? I want to bless you guys, and I stand on it when I say I try to be who I wish I had when I was on the come up. When I was trying to figure out trading and learn it, I had to go so hard on research because all the information on the internet was just fluff and it was entry level information, right? So I had to experience the ups and the downs, right? And I had to really, really, really study hard to get this. And that's why I always say the more you study, the less you worry, right? So I salute that, CMC. I appreciate that. All right. Should you look out for this on Monday? Like I said, I'm not entering into any swing trades on Monday. But if it does break above that level on Monday, I would day trade it. Okay? So I may day trade it or scalp trade it, make my money, and then let's see what happens on Tuesday morning and then go from there. All right? Adam said Isiah with the smart trading. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. We gotta be smart, right? You gotta be smart in this game. All right. Yeah, Best B been here since literally the first week. All right. When I had just hit like 1,000 subscribers. I just started really like, putting myself out there in regards to stocks. So yeah, Best B been here from the beginning. For sure. So yeah, be sure to join the Discord, y'all. Black Rose, what up? I see your Grove. Yeah, every day. I'm showing up every single day. All right, sometimes 2 times a day. All right, Charleston, okay, in the house. Thank you so much. Hey, salute, Jamal, most definitely. Appreciate that wake up movement. Yeah, Kello. All right, for sure. So yeah, y'all, those are my setups. Okay, those are my setups. Somebody mentioned Apple, so let's say Apple real quick. Because last week Apple went bonkers. Okay, Apple went bonkers. So if we go look at Apple real quick. Here we go. We go look at Apple real quick. Let's go look at Apple. All right, look at that. So look, it was right here, had two consolidation days, and then it blasted off. Boom, right? They said they was investing $100 million into, I forgot what it was, but they blasted off, right? Now, if you look on, let me see. If you look on, what is the hourly? Shali saw a double bottom from somewhere. But look at this right here. This looks like a bull flag. This is 2 bull flags. Look at this. All right, look at these bull flags. So we got a bull flag here from 203 all the way up to 215, right? And then what it do? It came down, right? Came down, boom. All right. And then look, it blasted off again. Another bull flag. Boom, right? Came up here. Right? And then it consolidated. Right here. All right? And then look what it did. And then blasted off again. Okay? So that's 2 bull flags. That's 2 bull flags right there. The consolidation looked a little bit different in each one, but they did the same thing. Blast off, consolidation, blast off, consolidation, blast off. All right? So that's what Apple did. I see Apple, honestly, I can see Apple coming up here to this 250 and retesting at all-time highs. All right? I can see Apple coming up here and testing at these all-time highs right here. Appreciate that wake-up movement. Yeah. So I made a video. Listen, y'all, I'm not saying this because I want views like that. Like, obviously, everybody wants views, but listen, I made a video on how to play earnings. Please watch that video, all right? Please watch that video. To answer your question, Jamal, I don't play any stocks before earnings. I wait until they have earnings, and then I make my moves after they have earnings. Let me give you guys a great example, Okay, let me give y'all a great example because there's something called IV crush, right? Implied volatility crush. If the stock doesn't make the expected move, it could go up. You could be in calls overnight, think you about to wake up to money, and then you down because the implied volatility. The contracts on these stocks are inflated on the week of earnings. I don't trade stocks that have earnings that week, and I don't gamble on earnings before market close. All right, so equities is different, but when we're talking about options, I wait until the stock has had earnings and then we go from there. All right. So Dennis, yeah, Apple does look like 3 bull flags. So let's look at okay, so last week, here's what I did, right? Look at this. Duolingo. Okay? Duolingo. Look on the daily. So check this out. They had earnings last week, right? They gapped up from 346. They gapped up from 346 all the way to 378. No. They gapped up actually from 346 to 444, right? So they had this big gap right here. And then they ran up some more. This was on Thursday, on my birthday. Okay? This was on Thursday. So look what happened on Thursday. All I did was I let them gap up right here, 446. They opened up, they came up here. Once they got right here, I entered into a put. Okay? And I just wrote it down because this is letting me know that things are coming down because it blasted up. It blasted off over $100 in pre-market. It ran up another what? $20. And then it rejected. And then it rejected again. So then I entered in a put. And I just held it. Okay? So I made money post earnings on Duolingo because of what I saw. Okay? So you can make big money because if a stock blasts off like this, it's going to come back down. It's only a matter of time. Okay? Now here's what I want to point to you guys as well. Now, when you see a stock blast off, but then it starts to consolidate, that's letting you know that the stock is not done moving higher. Right? Stock ain't done moving higher because it's consolidating. It's just taking a breather right now. Right? So when you see a stock go like this, have earnings and then it comes down, you don't take calls, right? You ride it back down and fill that gap. But when you see a stock gap up and then it doesn't come down and it's consolidating right here, you might want to wait because it could be consolidating and getting ready to go up higher. All right? So that's why I'm liking Celsius to the upside because it didn't just gap up and then come back down. Look at what DraftKings did. Okay? They had earnings last week. Okay? They had earnings and look what happened. Boom. Right? They had earnings on Thursday, I believe. Look, yeah. Wednesday, they was right here at 45. They gapped up, opened here, or they came down here, opened right here, and then they came down, consolidated, and then the next day they dropped lower, right? So if you see a stock gap up, hold that level, and then consolidate, get ready for it to go higher. All right? Look at Meta. Look at Meta real quick. I want to show y'all. So give y'all this sauce. So look at Meta. On a daily, right? They gapped up from here. Okay, so they had earnings. They gapped up. Right? So check this out. They came from here. No. They came, yeah. So they came from, so Meta came from here to here, right? Gapped up. And then look, they came down a little bit, but then they bounced up and they just been consolidating right here, right? So Meta looks like it wants to go touch $800, maybe $810, because it's consolidating right here. It didn't just gap up and then come back down. Look at what Microsoft did. Look what Microsoft did. They gapped up and then they came right back down. Y'all see that right there? So Meta looks like it's ready to blast off some more because it's consolidating. Celsius looks like it's ready to blast off some more because it's consolidating as well. Okay? So that's what I mean when I say just trade the stock after it has earnings, because there's not going to be inflated contract prices, because the day after the stock has earnings and all the premium is burned and it drops, then you could trade a cheaper contract with a bigger move and you can actually make more money. Always remember, y'all, you buy low and you sell high. You buy low and you sell high. Do not buy high and sell low. Remember that. Don't buy high and sell low. The name of the game is buy low and sell high. It's basic economics. All right? It is basic economics, y'all. You buy low and you sell high. That's all you got to do. All right? That's all you got to do. Hey, shout out. We got almost 100 people on this live right now, man. We got 104 people on this live right now. If you just tuning in, man, say what's up. All right? If you just tuning in, say what's up, say what's up, say what's up. All right? And be sure to like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. All right? I bring videos to you every single day. All right? And I'm not giving you no fluff. I'm giving you real levels. I'm giving you real valuable life-changing information. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in right now. Shout out to everybody that's on this live right now. I appreciate y'all. All right? So yeah. I've been trying to tell people that since I started this. Yeah. A lot of people not going to listen. That's what I learned too. A lot of people not going to listen. So yeah. Buying high and trying to sell higher will get y'all. Nah, for real. Do not buy high and try to sell higher. You buy low and you sell high. For real, for real. All right. So look, y'all. Angie said, thanks for the information. I left you a message in the Discord. Okay. Yeah, I saw. I'm going to get back to that in a few. All right. So look, y'all, I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you are just getting here, be sure to watch this video from the beginning. All right. We broke down the SPY, IWM, the market. We got CPI on Tuesday. And then also I broke down my setups. All right. I broke down my setups and I broke down the SPY and also the IWM. Okay. So make sure you trade. Be cautious on Monday, okay? If you don't have to take a trade on Monday, don't, right? If you see a nice setup, take it, but don't feel forced to take a trade on Monday. We got CPI on Tuesday. We got PPI on Wednesday as well, okay? So Doria said, I'm coming to Discord. Hey, come on. Hey, listen, we welcome you, all right? We going to give you a big old hug up in there, all right? So listen, if you guys have not, be sure to join the Discord. Click the link in the description of this video or any of my other videos, okay? Be sure to join the Prosperity Collective, join the community. All right, it's not just about taking trades. It's not just about a bot. It's about being around people that's on the same mission, and everybody is on their way to millions in this group, all right? Everybody is on their way to millions. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's on their way to six figures, right? You got people smacking 2,000 a day in there silently, okay? I'm gonna try to Discord, no chasing. Yeah, there we go. Come on, Kello, let's get it. All right, yeah, the more the merrier, y'all. All right, don't be a stranger, don't be afraid, right? We don't bite. All we doing is we just get money together. All right, y'all. So look, I appreciate everybody. Like I always say in every single video, I want you to say it with me. All right, make sure you get up out of your head and go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live, all right? And also remember, the more you study, the less you worry, all right? I appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow in the Discord. I'm going to see everybody else tomorrow on tomorrow's video, all right? Trade responsibly. Don't chase. Don't be desperate. Don't be greedy, all right? I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I appreciate y'all time, and I hope that this video helped. All right? I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Stay smooth. Peace.